It's a very simple thing, Madam Speaker. The fact that individuals agree on a particular set of ends does not mean that they agree on any possible means to get there. The fact that we recognize significant growth of population in Alberta requires more representation does not mean we agree with government MLAs drawing the maps. A highly undemocratic process, but that's of course been what we always see from this government. This is a government that tramples on the rule of law, has no respect for democracy, and continually puts its own interests ahead of those of Albertans. And that's what we have here right now again, this government shutting down and shutting out the voices of Albertans and their representatives. And because this government does not want to hear from Albertans, I'm going to take some time to share some of the words of Albertans on precisely this now. From Susan Sampson, the former mayor of Sylvan Lake, member of the Electoral Boundaries Commission, quote, "When MLAs of any stripe start picking their voters instead of the voters picking their MLAs, we're on a very slippery slope. I am totally demoralized and dismayed that our work was discounted and not accepted. This is a real stab in the heart for democracy, grassroots democracy being challenged." Stephanie Drysdale, citizen of Medicine Hat, "I have serious concerns with the Premier's decision to reject the recommendations of Alberta's Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission and redraw riding maps. This is a direct conflict of interest. A governing party should never have the power to draw the boundaries that determine its own electoral fate. That is exactly why independent commissions exist, to protect the integrity of our democratic process." The means, Madam Speaker. This sets a dangerous precedent. If government can override an independent commission to entrench its own power, Albertans can't trust that elections will reflect the will of the people. Mr. Greg Clark, who the members enjoyed misquoting at a number of times today and misrepresenting the words that Mr. Clark spoke, Madam Speaker. The fact is, what Mr. Clark said, I was surprised and disappointed to learn that a committee of MLAs has instead been tasked with creating a new map. In Canada, we don't want elected officials drawing their own elections maps. He was very clear. In a post to social media, he does not believe the government can simply take the maps they drew and add 2 new seats. This government is picking and choosing their quotes to misrepresent what people have said, including the members of the Boundary Commission. Mr. Brad Tomlinson, a citizen from Calgary, "The UCP has broken with an accepted process regarding the redrawing of electoral boundaries. There can only be one reason: gerrymandering. The new Committee for Electoral Boundaries proposed by the UCP is an authoritarian abuse of the system. It's a blatant attempt to manipulate electoral boundaries in favour of the UCP." Dr. Jared Wesley, a respected political scientist at the University of Alberta, in a column in the National Observer, an article rather, quote, "If the government were looking to design a process, the means, Madam Speaker, that would allow them to gerrymander districts, this is one approach. This particular decision fits with a worrying pattern of changing the rules of the game when the Premier doesn't like the outcome. It puts decisions in the hands of partisan appointees in a way we have not seen in Canada really since the 1940s or earlier." Mr. Greg Wanzelak, a citizen of Edmonton, "It's deeply troubling to see Alberta move towards altering electoral boundaries while disregarding the recommendations of its own independent commission. When a government overrides this process simply because it dislikes the outcome, it undermines public trust, raises serious concerns about the integrity of our democracy. Gerrymandering has no place in a system that claims to value fair representation." Jeremy Farkas, Mayor of Calgary, "There's no non-cynical take on what the government is doing." Andrew Knack, Mayor of Edmonton, "At the end of the day, elected representatives should never be the ones setting their own boundaries." Lastly, Madam Speaker, the government's favourite political scientist, Mr. Dwayne Bratt, "Since becoming Premier, the Premier has systematically attempted to weaken any political counter-weights. This committee is not an arm's-length process whose purpose is to find the best balanced and fair boundaries, but likely a deliberate attempt to manipulate ridings to the benefit of the UCP." It's undemocratic. It's unacceptable, Madam Speaker. Ends don't justify undemocratic.